All right, 10.3 is about surface areas of prisms and cylinders, and there are quite a few vocabulary words and some new theorems. So, here we go. Theorem 10.1 is the lateral surface area of a prism. The lateral area of a right prism is the product of the perimeter, the perimeter of the base and the height. So you find the perimeter, multiply it by the height. The surface area of a right prism is the sum of the lateral area and the area of the two bases. Okay, so then if we look, they've got the two formulas here for you. Lateral surface area is perimeter times height. Surface area is just lateral area plus the area of the two bases. Okay. Perimeter of the base, it shows you how to find that, and it shows you why we multiply by the height. Lateral area, P stands for perimeter in the equation. H stands for height. Surface area, this is lateral area, plus 2 times area of the base. Because there are two bases that are exactly the same. Okay. Theorem 10.2, lateral surface area of a cylinder. The lateral area of a right cylinder is the product of the circumference of the base and the height of the cylinder. Okay, so we know that circumference is 2 pi r, so lateral area is 2 pi r times h, or pi times diameter times height. And again, it gives you your formulas here. If you want to highlight those, you can find them easily. Okay, the surface area of a right cylinder, so this is total surface area of a right cylinder, is the sum of the lateral area and the areas of the two bases. So lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, we know that lateral area is 2 pi r times the height, plus the area of the base is pi r squared. So the surface area is 2 pi r times height plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, then here, if we're looking over here, if we unroll this cylinder, this is just this, like what would be the label on a can, so that's the lateral area. Okay, so over here we have the surface area because it has the lateral area plus the two bases attached. Okay, and we know that the area of the base is pi r squared. And then this line up here, let me grab a different color so you can see it. This line that goes from the center of the circle to the edge is called the radius, and we use r to represent that. Okay, let's keep going with some vocabulary here. There is quite a bit of vocabulary, so stay with me. I know you can do it. A prism. A prism is a polyhedron, which we talked about in the last couple lessons. A polyhedron with exactly 2 congruent parallel faces. And we usually refer to these as the bases. Think about these as the tops and the bottoms. Okay, the bases of a polyhedron are polygons. Lateral faces are the sides of the prism. Okay, lateral means sides. So like on a rectangular prism, you would have the two sides that are exactly the same, and then kind of the parts that connect those two bases. Those would be the lateral faces. Okay, an altitude is a perpendicular segment that joins the planes of the bases. The height, and we usually use h to represent that, is the length of the altitude. Okay, we're getting towards the end of the rectangular prism. So lateral area of a prism is the sum of the area of the lateral faces. And the surface area of a prism is of a prism or a cylinder is the sum of the lateral area and the areas of the two bases. So surface area is like every single surface of the shape. Lateral area is just the lateral sides. Okay, so here we have a pentagonal prism. It has 5 sides on the base. Okay, these two pentagons are the bases. Okay, and then down here we have a triangular prism. Okay, and it is pointing, this arrow is actually pointing at the side of this. It's kind of hard to see. But these arrows are pointing out the lateral faces. Okay, then we've got right here, these two arrows are pointing out lateral edges. Those are all the different parts that we can label there. Okay, a right prism. Right prism is a prism where lateral faces are rectangles. And lateral edges are altitudes. So these would be right prisms because all these corners are right angles. Okay, an oblique prism is a prism where lateral faces are parallelograms. And I think of these as slanted prisms because usually it kind of looks like they're tipped over. So like this would be an oblique prism. Okay, cylinders. A cylinder is a 3D figure with two congruent parallel circular bases. In a cylinder, the bases are circles. We're going to say parallel congruent circles. Okay, so the lateral area of a cylinder is the product of the circumference of the base and the height. Okay, then we also have right and oblique cylinders. So our right cylinder is a cylinder whose lateral surface joins the base at a right angle. So you can think of it as straight up and down. These would be right cylinders, and these two circles would be the bases. Okay, an oblique cylinder, I just think about it like a slanted cylinder. So the height is outside of the cylinder. So this would be an oblique cylinder. Okay. That is it for new vocabulary. I'm going to make a second video for all the examples just so we don't get one super long video. But go ahead, stop the video, take a break, get ready to watch the next video with the example.